The horrifying truth of a dark secret brutally shattered a family in Covington, Georgia, as Jaquavia Jackson allegedly murdered his wife, Sheriff's Deputy Shakima Jackson, and her brother, Levoy Brown, at their home on Windcrest Drive. This unthinkable act of violence, born from a desperate attempt to conceal a hidden life, sent shockwaves through their community and law enforcement circles. A bond of marriage and kinship was tragically severed by betrayal and a violent desperation for secrecy. Reports quickly surfaced, outlining the chilling details of the double homicide on Windcrest Drive. Shakima Jackson, a dedicated public servant, and her brother, Levoy Brown, both lost their lives in a horrifying incident that pointed directly to Jaquavia Jackson as the perpetrator. The brutal reality of a husband turning on his wife and her sibling underscored the profound depravity of the crime and the depths of his alleged desperation. Authorities in Covington, Georgia, swiftly launched an intensive investigation, propelled by the gravity of the double murder and the fact that one victim was a respected sheriff's deputy. Law enforcement officers meticulously processed the crime scene on Windcrest Drive, collecting critical forensic evidence and beginning the painstaking process of piecing together the events that led to the tragic deaths of Shakima and Levoy. Their immediate focus centered on understanding the timeline and identifying the full scope of Jaquavia Jackson's actions. The motive for this horrific act emerged as a central, disturbing element of the case. Jaquavia Jackson allegedly murdered his wife and brother-in-law to prevent the revelation of a deeply personal secret. He had reportedly fathered children with other women, a truth he desperately sought to keep hidden from Shakima. This explosive revelation of a hidden life fueled the alleged violence, transforming a personal deception into a double homicide. Before you continue, please subscribe to LAT True Crime Stories. Like the video and share with someone. This shocking betrayal, committed by a spouse and brother-in-law, amplified the tragedy's impact. The idea that a secret within a marriage could escalate to such extreme violence left the Covington community reeling, grappling with the profound question of how a bond of trust could devolve into such a destructive act. The depth of the deception and the subsequent violence painted a grim picture of domestic secrets gone tragically wrong. Jaquavia Jackson soon faced formal charges for the murders of Shakima Jackson and Levoy Brown in Georgia. Prosecutors moved decisively, aiming to hold him accountable for the unspeakable acts he allegedly committed. The legal system prepared to dissect the intricate web of deception, motive, and violence that characterized this devastating family tragedy. This detailed account delves into the lives of Sheriff's Deputy Shakima Jackson and Levoy Brown, the disturbing secret Jaquavia Jackson allegedly harbored, and the horrific events that led to their double murder at their Windcrest Drive home in Covington, Georgia. We explore the intricate web of personal relationships, the explosive motive, the meticulous investigation, and the subsequent legal proceedings that sought to bring justice for this family shattered by betrayal. Sheriff's Deputy Shakima Jackson, a deeply respected figure in her community, dedicated her life to public service, actively upholding the law and protecting the citizens of Newton County, Georgia. Her role as a law enforcement officer defined much of her public identity, showcasing her commitment, bravery, and unwavering professionalism. Colleagues and community members admired her unwavering resolve and her genuine desire to make a difference in their lives. Beyond her badge, Shakima Jackson cultivated a vibrant personal life, central to which stood her marriage to Jaquavia Jackson. The couple shared a home on Windcrest Drive in Covington, Georgia, a residence that ostensibly represented their shared life and future together. For mention duration of marriage if available in article years, they built a life together, presenting a picture of a committed couple within their community. Their marriage, however, allegedly harbored deep-seated secrets that would tragically unravel their domestic peace. While outwardly appearing a stable union, Jaquavia Jackson reportedly engaged in behavior that fundamentally contradicted his vows and commitment to Shakima. This hidden aspect of his life would later emerge as the devastating catalyst for the violence that ensued. Shakima also shared an exceptionally close bond with her brother, Levoy Brown. Their sibling relationship extended beyond mere familial ties. They reportedly shared a profound connection, characterized by mutual support and unwavering loyalty. Levoy often played a significant role in Shakima's life, perhaps serving as a confidant or a consistent presence in her personal sphere. Levoy Brown, mention Levoy's age or occupation if available in article, man, maintained his own life but consistently remained a strong pillar of support for his sister. Their relationship symbolized the enduring strength of their family unit, a bond that Jaquavia Jackson would shockingly and tragically sever. Levoy's presence in Shakima's life proved crucial, especially as hidden truths began to surface. The couple had 2 children together, a detail that further cemented their family unit and deepened the tragic irony of Jaquavia's alleged deception. These children represent the innocent lives directly impacted by the devastating choices their father reportedly made and the subsequent violence he allegedly inflicted upon their mother and uncle. Their well-being now directly depended on the pursuit of justice. Friends and family likely observed the everyday dynamics of Shakima and Jaquavia's marriage, perhaps perceiving a normal family life unfolding on Windcrest Drive. Public appearances rarely reveal the full complexity or hidden conflicts within a relationship, and this likely held true for the Jacksons, masking the deep-seated issues that festered beneath the surface of their domestic tranquility. Shakima, embodying her role as a sheriff's deputy, likely possessed a strong sense of integrity and a keen eye for truth. Her professional background may have made her particularly attuned to discrepancies or deceit, a quality that ironically contributed to the confrontation that would seal her fate. Her pursuit of honesty, both professionally and personally, set the stage for the tragic unraveling. Levoy Brown's presence at the Windcrest Drive home at the time of the murders further underscores the family's closeness and the interconnectedness of their lives. He was not merely a distant relative, he was an active part of Shakima's immediate world, tragically caught in the crossfire of a deeply personal and volatile domestic dispute. Shakima Jackson, a dedicated deputy and wife, Levoy Brown, her devoted brother, and Jaquavia Jackson, the husband whose hidden life would ultimately bring unimaginable tragedy to their home on Windcrest Drive in Covington, Georgia. This complex web of relationships forms the essential backdrop for the devastating events that followed.
The Fulton County Sheriff's Office mourning the loss of one of their own today. Deputy Shakima Brown Jackson and her brother were killed overnight in Covington. The Newton County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation into this incident. They say it may be or may not be domestic related.
CBS 46's Ashley Thompson is live at the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, where law enforcement now remembering Jackson and extending their condolences to her loved ones. Ashley?
Tracy, this is such a tragic story. Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt calls this a heartbreaking loss for the agency, and officers around the state also now mourning Jackson. The Fulton County Sheriff's Office mourning the loss of a young deputy. 28-year-old Shakima Brown Jackson was killed overnight in Newton County. 30-year-old Levoy Brown was also killed. Neighbors tell us the two were siblings.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Newton County Sheriff's deputies responded to a house on Windcrest Drive in Covington around 10:30 last night. Some residents of the neighborhood say there was a heavy law enforcement presence.
Maybe about 7, 8, 9 police cars, about 13 personal cars. I've never seen nothing like that in this neighborhood.
Exactly what happened remains under investigation. Newton County officials say the incident may or may not be domestic related. They are calling both Jackson and Brown victims. A man who lives across the street from where the incident happened says he just spoke with Brown yesterday. He says he believed he and his sister had a good relationship.
He used to work on his truck, his car, because he had a Mustang. And he used to work on it a lot. She used to sit in there with him and help him, work on the cars.
According to the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, Jackson joined the agency as a detention officer in 2018 before becoming a deputy sheriff just over a month ago. She leaves behind a 17-month-old child. Now, the Newton County Sheriff's Office says they do not have a suspect in custody at this time. They are asking anyone with information to call Investigator Hicks, the number right there on your screen, 678-625-1455. For now, I am live in Fulton County. Ashley Thompson, CBS 46 News.
Ashley, thank you.
It's a somber day for members of the Fulton County Sheriff's Office. Authorities say someone shot and killed a deputy and her brother at a house in Newton County Wednesday night. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes joins us live from Newton County with more on the impact this beloved deputy had on many lives. Deidre.
The Newton County Sheriff's Office confirming for us this afternoon that they are investigating this as a possible domestic incident. They tell me they are still interviewing witnesses and have not named a suspect at this time. Now, the shooting claimed the lives of Fulton County Sheriff's Deputy Shakima Brown Jackson and her brother Levoy Brown. They were killed at Jackson's Covington home at around 10:30 Wednesday night. Now, Deputy Jackson joined the Fulton County Sheriff's Office in 2018 as a detention officer. She became a deputy sheriff just over a month ago. Her co-workers say she had a bubbly personality, a positive attitude, and was eager to learn. Well, Fulton County Sheriff Pat Labatt said his office is providing peer support and chaplain services to those hit hard by her tragic death.
We are going to each roll call and really just trying to provide a level of comfort for our team as we continue through and through this process. So we're just asking for everyone to continue to pray for us, and it is certainly a difficult time for the Fulton County Sheriff's Office.
And the deputy leaves behind a 17-month-old child. We spoke to the victim's mother earlier today. I hear from her tonight on New at 5 as she seeks justice for her two children. Live in Newton County, Deidre Dukes, Fox 5 News.
The marriage of Sheriff's Deputy Shakima Jackson and Jaquavia Jackson, seemingly stable on the surface of their Windcrest Drive home in Covington, Georgia, tragically concealed a devastating secret. Jaquavia Jackson had reportedly fathered children with other women, a truth he desperately sought to keep hidden from his wife. This deeply personal deception would ultimately unravel, setting in motion a chain of events that directly led to a double murder. The very nature of Jaquavia's secret, fathering children outside his marriage, created an explosive tension within the Jackson household. He evidently feared the profound repercussions of this revelation. The potential loss of his marriage to Shakima, the destruction of his family unit, and significant damage to his reputation within the community. This immense pressure to maintain the deception fueled a growing desperation within him. The critical turning point occurred when this explosive secret threatened to come to light. According to court documents and reports, Shakima Jackson directly confronted Jaquavia about the children he fathered with other women. This confrontation, likely occurring in their home on Windcrest Drive, forced the hidden truth into the open, eliminating Jaquavia's ability to maintain his deceptive facade. This direct confrontation immediately ignited an intense and volatile argument between Shakima and Jaquavia. Shakima, a law enforcement officer with a strong sense of integrity, likely felt profound betrayal and anger upon learning of her husband's infidelity and secret family. Her emotional reaction and demand for answers further escalated the already tense situation. Levoy Brown, Shakima's brother and a deeply loyal presence in her life, tragically became involved in this escalating domestic dispute. Reports indicate that Levoy was present at the Windcrest Drive home when the confrontation over Jaquavia's secret erupted. His presence underscores the family's closeness and the intimate nature of the tragic events that unfolded. Levoy Brown's involvement likely stemmed from his protective instinct towards his sister. As the argument between Shakima and Jaquavia intensified, Levoy presumably intervened, attempting to de-escalate the volatile situation or stand in defense of his sister. His presence, however, inadvertently placed him directly in the path of Jaquavia's alleged rage and desperation. Jaquavia Jackson's alleged motive crystallized in that moment of revelation. He intended to prevent the secret from being exposed any further. The thought of losing his carefully constructed life, coupled with the immediate pressure of the confrontation, drove him to extreme measures. He allegedly resolved to silence those who knew his truth, ensuring his secret remained buried. The escalating tension and Jaquavia's alleged desperation culminated in a tragic escalation from argument to lethal violence. The immediate threat of his infidelity and deception becoming public propelled him to allegedly commit unspeakable acts against his wife and brother-in-law. The confrontation over the secret directly triggered the horrific double murder. The horrifying events that unfolded on Windcrest Drive revealed the devastating power of deeply buried secrets and the lengths to which individuals may go to protect them. Jaquavia Jackson's alleged choice to resort to murder rather than face the consequences of his infidelity shocked the Covington community and underscored the profound dangers of deception in intimate relationships. Jaquavia Jackson's secret children, Shakima's courageous confrontation of this truth, and Levoy Brown's intervening presence. This explosive unraveling of deception directly propelled Jaquavia to allegedly commit the unspeakable double murder in their Covington, Georgia home. The confrontation over Jaquavia Jackson's secret children reached its terrifying climax at the Windcrest Drive home in Covington, Georgia. What began as a heated argument between Jaquavia and his wife, Sheriff's Deputy Shakima Jackson, quickly escalated into an act of unimaginable violence. The peaceful suburban night shattered as Jaquavia allegedly made the desperate and lethal decision to silence the truth forever. The escalating tension inside the residence boiled over as Jaquavia Jackson allegedly retrieved a firearm. The presence of a weapon in their domestic dispute instantly transformed the situation from a verbal confrontation into a life-threatening crisis. His alleged act of arming himself signaled his intent to control the outcome through force, rather than confronting the devastating truth of his actions. Tragically, Levoy Brown, Shakima's loyal brother, became caught in the maelstrom of this deadly domestic dispute. He was present at the Windcrest Drive home and reportedly intervened in the escalating conflict, likely attempting to protect his sister or de-escalate the volatile situation. His brave intervention, however, placed him directly in the path of Jaquavia's alleged rage. Prosecutors contend that Jaquavia Jackson then brutally shot both his wife, Shakima, and her brother, Levoy. He fired multiple shots. The precise sequence of the murders, though horrific, is believed to have unfolded rapidly, driven by Jaquavia's desperate intent to prevent his secret from being fully exposed. The violence inside the home marked a horrifying end to Shakima Jackson's life, a dedicated public servant, and tragically claimed Levoy Brown's as well. The immediate aftermath of the shooting saw 2 lives senselessly extinguished, victims of a profound betrayal and a desperate attempt to cover up a deeply personal deception. Following the shootings, Jaquavia Jackson allegedly fled the Windcrest Drive residence, attempting to escape accountability for the double murder. His departure from the crime scene after committing such heinous acts indicated a clear effort to evade detection and avoid the immediate consequences of his alleged actions. The silence that followed his flight belied the horror within the home. A concerned neighbor discovered the horrific scene. The discovery prompted an immediate and frantic 911 call, alerting authorities to the unspeakable tragedy that had occurred on Windcrest Drive. This call officially brought law enforcement to the scene. First responders, including officers from the Covington Police Department and emergency medical personnel, swiftly converged on the residential street. They encountered a grim and chaotic scene, confirming the fatalities and immediately recognizing the gravity of the situation as a double homicide. Their immediate actions focused on securing the area and providing any possible assistance, though tragically, it was too late for Shakima and Levoy. The presence of a fallen sheriff's deputy as a victim immediately escalated the urgency and resources dedicated to the investigation. Colleagues and fellow officers felt a deep personal connection to the case, fueling their resolve to quickly identify and apprehend the perpetrator responsible for such a heinous act against one of their own and her brother. This violent act and Jaquavia's subsequent flight set the stage for the intense manhunt and legal proceedings that would follow in Covington, Georgia. The tragic discovery of Sheriff's Deputy Shakima Jackson and her brother Levoy Brown on Windcrest Drive in Covington, Georgia, immediately triggered a large-scale homicide investigation. Detectives working in conjunction with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation (GBI), due to the involvement of a law enforcement officer, swiftly took charge. Their immediate priority became securing the crime scene and launching a relentless manhunt for Jaquavia Jackson. Investigators meticulously processed every inch of the Windcrest Drive residence, gathering crucial forensic evidence. They documented the victims' positions, collected shell casings, and searched for any physical traces left by the perpetrator. Each piece of evidence served as a silent witness, piecing together the terrifying narrative of the double murder and aiming to definitively link Jaquavia Jackson to the crime. Detectives quickly established Jaquavia Jackson as the primary suspect, driven by the volatile domestic dispute and the clear motive of concealing his secret children. They initiated a comprehensive search for him, issuing alerts to surrounding law enforcement agencies and putting out an immediate call for public assistance in locating him. The urgency of apprehending a suspected double murderer, especially one who allegedly killed his wife, propelled their efforts. The investigation actively utilized all available resources to track Jaquavia Jackson's movements. Authorities reportedly examined phone records, reviewed surveillance footage from the Windcrest Drive neighborhood and surrounding areas, and interviewed family members and acquaintances who might have known of his whereabouts or his plans. This exhaustive search aimed to narrow down his possible locations and anticipate his next move. Witnesses played a critical role in solidifying the case against Jaquavia. Their testimonies provided crucial insights into the couple's recent dynamics and Jaquavia's alleged state of mind leading up to the murders. The collaborative efforts of multiple law enforcement agencies eventually led to Jaquavia Jackson's apprehension. His capture brought a palpable sense of relief to the investigating teams and the grieving community in Covington. Upon his apprehension, law enforcement officially placed Jaquavia Jackson under arrest. He was then transported to where he underwent questioning regarding the murders of Shakima Jackson and Levoy Brown. Detectives methodically sought his account of the events that transpired on Windcrest Drive. Prosecutors swiftly moved to file formal charges against Jaquavia Jackson. These serious indictments reflected the gravity of the alleged double homicide and the state's commitment to pursuing maximum accountability. Jaquavia Jackson then underwent his initial court appearance, where a judge formally informed him of the charges. The court process officially began, signaling the start of a lengthy legal battle. He was typically remanded to custody without bond, given the nature of the charges and the flight risk posed by a suspected double murderer. The rapid and determined investigation, culminating in Jaquavia Jackson's swift apprehension and formal charging, demonstrated the unwavering resolve of law enforcement in Covington, Georgia. They actively gathered compelling evidence and meticulously built a case against him, ensuring that the individual responsible for the brutal deaths of Shakima Jackson and Levoy Brown would face justice. Upon his apprehension, Jaquavia Jackson formally entered the legal system, facing the full force of Georgia's prosecution for the murders of his wife, Sheriff's Deputy Shakima Jackson, and her brother, Levoy Brown. Prosecutors in Newton County swiftly filed charges, including 2 counts of murder, signaling their unwavering commitment to holding him accountable for the horrific double homicide that occurred on Windcrest Drive in Covington. Jaquavia Jackson appeared before a judge for his arraignment, where he formally received notification of the grave charges against him. At this critical juncture, he entered a plea of setting the stage for a contentious legal battle. The court then remanded him to custody without bond, recognizing the extreme nature of the charges and the flight risk involved. The prosecution, led by the district attorney's office, meticulously prepared their case against Jaquavia Jackson. They focused on presenting a compelling narrative, arguing that Jaquavia intentionally and maliciously murdered Shakima and Levoy to silence the truth about his secret children. Their strategy revolved around proving a clear motive fueled by desperation and deceit. Central to the prosecution's argument was the devastating secret Jaquavia Jackson harbored: his children fathered with other women. Prosecutors highlighted how Shakima's discovery of this truth triggered the fatal confrontation, establishing a direct link between his infidelity and the subsequent violence. They argued that the murders were a desperate act to prevent his hidden life from unraveling completely. Evidence gathered from the crime scene on Windcrest Drive formed a cornerstone of the prosecution's case. They meticulously presented ballistic evidence to illustrate the brutal nature of the attack. The prosecution also relied on compelling witness testimony. These testimonies corroborated the timeline of events and reinforced Jaquavia's direct involvement in the murders, painting a chilling picture for the court. Jaquavia Jackson's defense team actively mounted a vigorous challenge to the prosecution's case. While specific defense strategies vary, they likely aim to. They sought to create reasonable doubt, arguing for their client's innocence or a lesser degree of culpability. The ensuing trial saw both sides present their arguments before a jury. The proceedings undoubtedly gripped the Covington community, as the details of the double murder and the underlying betrayal unfolded in open court. Ultimately, the jury reached a verdict, a moment of profound significance for all involved. The jury found Jaquavia Jackson guilty of 2 counts of murder. This decision represented the culmination of the legal process, determining Jaquavia Jackson's legal fate for the lives he allegedly took. Following the verdict, the court proceeded to sentencing. The judge sentenced Jaquavia Jackson to 2 consecutive life sentences. This final judgment formally concluded the legal pursuit of justice for Shakima Jackson and Levoy Brown, imposing the ultimate consequences for the tragic violence that erupted on Windcrest Drive in Covington, Georgia. The legal proceedings for Jaquavia Jackson culminated dramatically in a Covington, Georgia courtroom, as a jury found him guilty of the brutal murders of his wife, Sheriff's Deputy Shakima Jackson, and her brother, Levoy Brown. This definitive verdict, delivered after weeks of testimony and evidence presentation, affirmed the prosecution's case. Jaquavia intentionally took their lives to conceal his secret life. The court's decision officially marked the legal end to a horrific chapter for the Jackson Brown family. Following the jury's verdict, the court moved directly to the sentencing phase, a solemn moment where the judge imposed the full weight of Georgia law upon Jaquavia Jackson. This severe punishment directly reflected the gravity of his actions, ensuring he faced profound consequences for the double homicide on Windcrest Drive. For the family of Shakima Jackson and Levoy Brown, the conviction and subsequent sentencing brought a vital, though heartbreaking, sense of legal closure. They had endured unimaginable pain and uncertainty since the tragic events on Windcrest Drive. The verdict, representing official accountability for Jaquavia's crimes, provided a necessary step towards processing their profound grief, even as it could never restore their loved ones. During the sentencing hearing, family members delivered powerful victim impact statements, directly addressing Jaquavia Jackson and the court. Shakima's mother spoke tearfully of her daughter's dedication to service and Levoy's loving spirit, highlighting the immense void Jaquavia created. Their words powerfully articulated the devastation and loss Jaquavia inflicted upon their lives, bringing the human cost of his actions into sharp focus. The community of Covington, Georgia, widely reacted to the verdict and sentencing with a mixture of relief and continued sorrow. News of the trial's outcome spread quickly, confirming that justice had indeed been served for the beloved sheriff's deputy and her brother. Residents felt a collective sense of validation that the perpetrator faced the consequences of his actions, reinforcing faith in their local justice system. Fellow law enforcement officers, deeply affected by the loss of one of their own, received the verdict with a sense of vindication. Shakima Jackson's colleagues grieved her loss but also expressed satisfaction that her alleged killer had been held accountable. The outcome honored her memory and the dangerous profession she dedicated her life to. Despite the legal closure, the profound grief of the Jackson Brown family continued. No verdict, regardless of its severity, could ever erase the pain of losing Shakima and Levoy, nor could it undo the betrayal Jaquavia Jackson inflicted. Their lives remained irrevocably altered by the violence that erupted from a hidden secret on Windcrest Drive. The case of Jaquavia Jackson served as a stark and public reminder of the devastating potential of domestic violence and the extreme lengths to which individuals might go to conceal deeply personal secrets. The tragic outcome in Covington highlighted the importance of vigilance, intervention, and support systems for those caught in dangerous relationships. The legacy of Shakima Jackson, a dedicated deputy, and her loyal brother Levoy Brown, now inextricably linked to the pursuit of justice and the broader conversations surrounding domestic violence prevention. Their story, etched into the memory of the Covington community, continues to inspire efforts aimed at protecting others from similar fates. Ultimately, the verdict and sentencing of Jaquavia Jackson brought a definitive legal end to a harrowing chapter in Covington, Georgia. While the court's judgment delivered accountability, the enduring impact of the double murder reverberated, leaving behind a legacy of loss, lessons learned, and a heightened awareness of the hidden dangers that can lurk within relationships. The tragic deaths of Sheriff's Deputy Shakima Jackson and her brother, Levoy Brown, at the hands of Jaquavia Jackson on Windcrest Drive, left an indelible mark on the Covington, Georgia community. Beyond the courtroom's verdict, their lives now serve as a powerful testament to the devastating consequences of betrayal and domestic violence. Their family and friends actively work to honor their memory, ensuring their vibrant spirits and dedicated lives are never forgotten. Shakima Jackson's legacy as a committed public servant continues to inspire her colleagues and community members. Her dedication as a sheriff's deputy, a profession rooted in protecting others, adds a profound layer of sorrow to her violent end. Her memory now actively champions increased awareness and safety for all, especially those in vulnerable situations. Levoy Brown, remembered for his unwavering loyalty and profound connection to his sister, also leaves a lasting impact. His tragic death, occurring as he apparently intervened in a domestic dispute, underscores the dangers faced by those attempting to protect loved ones from violence. His memory now encourages others to seek safe ways to intervene and support victims. The case of Jaquavia Jackson and the secret he desperately tried to conceal, fathering children with other women, serves as a stark warning about the destructive power of deceit within intimate relationships. This profound betrayal, coupled with his alleged violent response to its revelation, highlights the critical importance of honesty and the potential for devastating escalation when truth is suppressed. This double murder in Covington, Georgia, undeniably amplified the urgent need for heightened awareness about the escalating patterns of domestic violence. Jaquavia Jackson's actions demonstrate how controlling behaviors and unresolved conflicts can tragically culminate in lethal violence. The community actively reinforces the message that no secret justifies such horrific acts. Advocates against domestic violence actively utilize cases like Shakima and Levoy's to educate the public about critical warning signs. They emphasize that any instance of controlling behavior, extreme jealousy, threats, or a history of violence demands immediate attention. Recognizing these indicators early empowers individuals to seek help before situations become irreversible. The tragedy on Windcrest Drive also spurs a call for stronger community support systems for victims of domestic violence. Local organizations in Covington and across Georgia actively work to provide accessible resources, shelters, counseling, legal aid, and crisis hotlines, ensuring that individuals facing similar threats have safe avenues for escape and recovery. Furthermore, this case resonates deeply within the law enforcement community. Shakima Jackson's death reminds officers and agencies of the unique vulnerabilities that can arise even for those who protect others. It reinforces the importance of peer support, mental health resources, and vigilance for all who serve in high-stress professions. The shared grief and desire for prevention unite the Covington community. Residents actively engage in dialogues about fostering safer environments, challenging harmful norms, and promoting healthy relationships. Their collective efforts ensure that the lessons learned from this tragedy translate into tangible changes, preventing future acts of violence. Ultimately, the lives of Shakima Jackson and Levoy Brown, tragically cut short, compel an ongoing commitment to awareness and action. Their memory serves as a powerful reminder that vigilance, support, and truth can break cycles of violence, ensuring that their profound sacrifice in Covington, Georgia, continues to inspire a future where no one suffers from such betrayal and brutality.